Hello students, welcome back to Madhavi's Java programming tutorials. In this video, we'll discuss length, trim and charAt methods of string class. The contents are introduction in instance methods of string class, usage of length, trim and charAt methods, difference between array.length and string class length method, practice exercise. String is a collection of characters such as alphabets, numbers, special characters, spaces, etc. In a string, each character is given index. Index always starts at 0. For example, string str is equal to Java language. Here, str is an object of class string. Object or instance, one and the same. str is an instance of string class and it stores Java language as its value. We know that the reference variables are stored in stack and the contents are stored in heap memory. Previous video I have discussed, but we can visualize str is an object, Java language as its contents, and index starts from 0 till the last character, that is 12. Actual length is 13. Now, built-in string class has more than 60 methods and more than 10 constructors, around 13 constructors. Most of the methods are instance methods, means we call from object, and some are static methods. Let's see instance methods of a string class. String s1 is equal to test. S1 is an instance of string or object. Second one is string s2 is equal to abc. Now, how do we call the methods? S1 dot method, any method, and send parameters. If that method returns a value, we store the value in that particular data type. Second example, s2 dot method. That means we are calling that method from the object s2 or s1, depending on before the dot operator which object we have used. For example, int length. Length is the method name. It should be used with the help of instance s1 dot length and it returns an integer. S1 dot length means how many characters are there in S1? 4 characters. So 4 will be returned by the method. Similarly, charAt is the method. It should be used either s1 dot charAt or s2 dot charAt or any object dot charAt, which receives one parameter, that is integer, returns a character. By looking at the method only, we understand what is the return type, what are the parameters, and method name. Third one is trim. No parameters, but it returns a string. Similarly, several methods, 60 methods are there, but we'll be discussing around 18 instance methods and a couple of static methods in coming videos. But in this video, we'll understand only length, charAt and trim. Now, usage of length, trim and charAt methods. Let's understand what are the situations. All these three methods are used to validate the input given by the user. For example, application forms such as competitive exams, passports of a country or passwords, etc. Indian passport holders, maximum 36 characters in the first name. Similarly, US passport holders, 24 letters for the entire name. So length method is used to check. Maybe these numbers are a little changing. Name cannot be blank, means only spaces cannot be given as name. So we use trim method to see cut leading and trailing blanks, and then length. Passwords must contain alphabets, numbers, symbols, etc. And charAt method checks whether all of them are present or not. Now, usage of int length, string trim, charAt. String S1 is equal to Java language, and this is the visual representation. We know that S1 dot method parameters, if any, and store the value in the return value data type we mentioned. So int length means it is returning integer. What does length do? Counts the number of characters and returns the count. So how do we use int len is equal to, or any other variable is equal to S1 dot length. Go to S1 area, find the length. It's a method, instance method. So we are using the object. Second one, string trim, removes leading and trailing blanks, if any, and it returns a string. So S1 dot trim is an instance method, and returning a string, either we store in the same variable, that is S1, or we can use another variable. Third one is charAt int. Returns the character at the index which is passed as a parameter. For example, charAt is an instance method, so S1 dot charAt 0. That means index 0. At the index 0, whatever character is there, it will be returned by charAt method. That is J. Character at 0 is J. That J will be stored in CH, one character. And instead of 0, we can give any index till length minus 1. Length is 13. 13 characters are there, but index starts from 0 and set 12. So till length minus 1 we can give. And then difference between length and ARR dot length. Length parenthesis is a method and it is used with strings. For example, string S1 is equal to Java. S1 dot length returns 4. This is a method, parenthesis, length. Whereas in array, let's assume we have created an array, int a square brackets is equal to new int 5. 5 is the maximum length, and this 5 is stored in a variable, not a method. So a dot length returns 5. Whereas S1 dot length parenthesis returns 4 number of characters. Here in array, length is a property. It's a final variable. Whereas in strings, length is a method which we must remember. Let's suppose it is a string array. In that case, string B square brackets is equal to, within curly brackets, Java, C++, Python. Now B is an array. When we say B dot length, it returns 3. Why? Because there are 3 values. B dot length. B is an array. Length is a property which is used with array. B dot length returns 3. Whereas if I want to find out how many characters are there in Java, then how many characters in C++, how many characters in Python, then B of 0 refers to Java. B of 1 refers to C++, and so on and so forth. So B of 0 dot length, because Java is a string, so we use parenthesis. B of 0 dot length returns 4. Again, C++, if I want 3 characters, how do I use? B of 1 dot length returns 3. Third one, B of 2 dot length returns 6, because Python has 6 characters. Now let's see with the help of a Java program length, charAt and trim methods. Now let's see length method. For example, string s1 is equal to jroop savan. There are 13 characters. String s2 is equal to Arun, 4 characters. If I say s1 dot length is a method with the help of an object we have used, it should return 13. Control K and then execute and see. Here it is showing 30. Fine. What if we use s2 dot length? Control K and it should return 4. It is returning 4 here. When we execute and see, it returns 4. Fine. This is length method. Now what is trim? Trim means it cuts leading and trailing blanks, not in between. If we give extra spaces in between, programmer has to remove these extra blanks, but trim cuts leading and trailing blanks. So if I say System.out.println s1 dot length, it counts the characters also. Although there are only 13 valid characters, including the space in between Jairoop and Savan, it gives these many, I think 24 are there. 24 characters it will show. And if I say trim s1 is equal to, or we can say string s3 equals to s1 dot trim. We can use 2 methods simultaneously also. We will learn that little s1 dot trim. Control K. So whatever is trimmed is stored in S3 and we want to print, let's suppose first of all S3 and then S3 dot length. So S3 dot length and Control C, Control V, S1 dot length, and after trimming S3 dot length, before trimming S1 dot length. Let's execute and see. (24) and 16 after trimming. Now, why do we have to trim? Let's understand. By mistake, user has entered one space before jroop. And when we sort these two objects, jroop comes first. Why? Because the ASCII code or Unicode value of a space is 32, whereas ASCII code of A is 65. So which one is smaller? According to the Unicode, 32 is smaller. So when we sort, jroop comes first rather than Arun. So that's why leading and trailing blanks we cut using trim method. Now let us see charAt method. charAt, what does it return? Character at a particular index. So s1 dot char at 0 if I pass, the length is 9, control K, and then execute 0 means J. Let's make it like this also, control C, control V, and S3, S1 dot caret 0, control C, control V, S1 dot caret 1. So 0th character is J and second character is A, right? That is at one index. Let's see, caret main method, okay, J and A. Character at a particular index, it extracts. Now using a for loop, we can print all the characters one by one or examine what is there in those characters. So let's take a loop for int. Here I'll explain one processing time and memory usage concept. For int a equals to 0, a less than s1 dot length, we can use like this, a plus plus. But what happens is, s1 dot length is a method which is called for all the characters of Java test. How many times? Because there are 9 times s1 dot length will be called. 9 times it counts 9, another for loop inside length which is counting the characters. So 9 nines are 81 times this loop works. So unnecessarily processing time will be increased without our knowing. So as a programmer, we must write CPU friendly programs and memory usage must be lesser. We must take care of 81 times. Instead of that, we want to do only 9 times and store int len is equal to s1 dot length in the stack. We will just store s1 dot length in stack, that too in len variable, and we run a loop len till len times. So saving the processing time. Now in the for loop, every time I want to store in ch, that too s1 dot caret is equal to caret a, s1 dot caret a. So we are extracting the characters and storing in ch every time. First time 0, second time 1 character, then second character, third character, fourth character, and so on and so forth, and printing this particular ch, whatever is there in ch. So this loop works how many times? 9 times. Every time it is extracting a character and storing in ch. Fine. Control K and then execute the program in C. Okay. Java space test stored. Every time it has extracted a character depending on the index. This is charAt. Let's see a small program here. Read a string input and count number of spaces and display. Number of spaces, in between spaces, we don't know how to change if there are more than one space in between the string, like Java test so many spaces. But at the beginning and at the end, we know how to remove. So we take scanner class, enter a string. String name is equal to sc dot next line because we are expecting spaces also. and then name is equal to name.trim. There are two methods if you remember, next and next line. Next takes till a space, next line till the end of the line. If we give Java test, 9 characters would be there, and we are trimming leading and trailing blacks. Now count number of spaces. So we need to declare int count equals to 0, counting. Also, we have understood we need to run a loop and see is J is a space or not, A is a space, V is a space. So charAt is required. And we need to see the entire string. So 9 times, so length we take. Len is equal to name dot length. So two variables we have declared. First one is count, second one is length. Now run a loop till length only. So for some int a equals to 0, a less than what? Till len, because length we have stored in len, a plus plus, and every time we run char ch is equal to name dot charAt and then a. So every time the characters are stored in ch. Now if at all that ch double equals to a space R32, in that case we count. In that case we count. See this for loop extracting characters at each index and testing whether J is space, A is space, V is space or not. If at all a space is there, it is counting. So this is the program, and output must be count because we have counted the spaces and count. This is the program. So let's execute and see the program. Counting spaces. Enter a string A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So 2 spaces are there. Number of spaces is 2. So this is about the program. And in the next video, we will use the password check. We will understand the question right now. Read password from the user and display valid or not. Length of the password must be minimum 8 characters. Space is not allowed. Must contain capital, lowercase, number, special character. These many rules are there. So look at the output of the program. Length of the password must be minimum 8 characters, but if I give some 1 character, it must say length of the password must be minimum 8 characters, validating input. And also it must contain capital, lowercase, number, special characters. Space is not allowed. Let's suppose I want to run the program and I want to give 8 characters, but a space is there. So A, B, C, D, whatever, 1 space, A. So immediately space is not allowed as a part of password. And let's execute the third time and see. So we must give 1 capital letter, any number of lowercase letters, 1 number, and 1 special character, no space, total 8 characters or more characters, 8 or more characters, 1 number, 1 special character, 1 capital, and minimum 1 lowercase character. Then it is saying valid password. We will see the program in the next video. Let us see a practice exercise here. Read a string from user and display its length. Read two strings from user and display whether both are of equal length or not after using trim method. Now guess output of these two, and then using charAt, read a string and display each character in a separate line using charAt method of string class. Read a string from the user and display the last and first characters. First means 0 index, last means length minus 1. Read a string from the user and display count of words. Number of words if the user gives proper input. Number of words would be if one space, 2 words. No space here, no space, 1 word. 1 space, 2 words. 2 spaces, 3 words, and so on and so forth. And then read a name from the user and display only initials. If the string is Bala Murali Krishna, the output must be BMK. See, some logic you come up and then print only initials. Refer chapter 8 of Essentials of Computer Applications for further understanding and practice exercises. The next video is about data validation for password creation using length, charAt, and trim methods of string class. Thank you.